welcome to another episode of CyberBytes, the podcast. Today, it's my pleasure to be joined by Emanuel, who is the CEO and co-founder of Nagomi. How are you, Emanuel?
Doing great. Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. And we're here at BlackHat this week. So you arrived Saturday, I think you said. So how are you finding BlackHat so far?
Finding it great. A lot of energy, a lot of momentum.
Yeah.
We have a big team here this week, so all energized.
Good. And I haven't asked actually, do you guys have a booth? I know you've just come out stealth, but do you have a booth in Startup?
Yes, we have a booth at the exhibition floor. Awesome. We have, we're having meetings also at a suite. Great. So we're doing a bit of other things. We had an amazing event yesterday at the Dig This event where we allowed our prospects, customers to go in and kind of drive their own big trucks and excavators. So we're doing a bunch of things this week.
Yeah, I like those events. They're to be the best. I think a couple of my colleagues have got a similar event later, so I'm gutted I wasn't able to go.
Don't miss those.
What's the objectives for you guys for BlackHat? What are you looking to get out of this week?
So I think it's multifold. The first one is we want to get the brand out there. We want to know people know that we're here, what we're solving. We want to make sure that people, understand the presence. We want to get as many interactions with prospects, existing customers, partners, future investors. So there's, we want to be part of this community and industry.
Sure.
And this is one of those main events where we can achieve it across the entire team. So that's kind of our objective.
Great. And we're going to dive into Nagomi, but before we do that, just want to rewind. Yes. So can you give the listeners who might not know who you are yet, just a quick intro to your background and your story up until Nagomi?
Awesome. So I was born in Italy, raised in Israel. Okay. I'm, in terms of my background, had the chance to live in about 6 countries.
Oh, wow. Favorite country?
Sorry?
Favorite country?
Favorite country, yes, Switzerland. And there is a big mix between Switzerland and Israel. Like each has their, advantages and disadvantages and, benefits. Mm-hmm. I speak 6 languages just because of all the travel and kind of my family background because I was born in Italy and, raised in multiple countries. And perhaps a small thing, if you need to know about me, is I love cigars. I love Cuban cigars. So this is something for you. I hope that this evening you're able to enjoy this. And if you need the equipment, then let me know.
I might have to.
I will be sitting at the Cosmo and the Chandelier this evening. So that's the place to be this evening.
I'm coming along to the Cosmo. By the way, this is my last night in Vegas. So this is great timing.
Perfect. And other than that, I worked in great companies. I had a chance to do my MBA in France. Was hired by the global CEO of a small German startup called Siemens, where they relocated me across the world to Germany and South Korea and Switzerland. Worked at Clarity, cybersecurity, OT, one of the market leaders, and now leading this awesome company.
Yeah. And so let's paint a bit of a picture of Nagomi then. So came out stealth very recently. How long were you building before coming out stealth?
So we've been at this since January 2023. We worked hard the first 12 months. We actually got we basically got our first 10 paying customers without even having a website. No brand presence. Awesome. Yeah. No one knew what we're actually doing. And I think we came out of stealth a bit late, I would say. I mean, we're having a discussion with our marketing team. I really, apologize, Nate, that it took us so long. So we came out of stealth in April, right before RSA. We have actually a counter, 72 business days out of stealth, so counting. And we've been basically building a really strong team, mostly out of Tel Aviv, for the R&D team, being in touch with a lot of customers from multiple segments, mostly in North America and Europe, and building partnerships. And we just announced in April our A round led by TCV, CrowdStrike, and Okta, which we're really proud of to partner with all those great investors. Yeah. And our seed round was led by Team8. So
absolutely,
that's what we've been doing in those first 12 to 15 months.
Cool. And what's the vision for Nagomi? And out of interest, has that changed since January 23?
So I think that we're getting more, a bit more proud about the vision. Mm-hmm. We have more, we're feeling more comfortable of kind of conquering this. Yeah. And we're getting so much great feedback from customers about us trying to tackle this problem. So from a vision standpoint, we want to make sure, we want to help organizations maximize the utilization of their existing security tools against the threats that they care about, and make sure there is not any more of those preventable breaches. Think about any of the big breaches that you heard of in the last, 6, 9, 12 months, MGM, Microsoft, Okta, Change Healthcare, all known adversaries, nothing new, not a nation state, no zero-day vulnerabilities. They all had the security tools in place. You can be sure of that. They all could have prevented it. Wow. I want to make sure that we're democratizing this to all organizations, both big ones and small ones.
Yeah. So talk to us more about that then. How does that work and how does the product operate?
So I think that this is, as you know, it's not a new problem. We've been trying to tackle this in the industry for years now. There's consulting companies, assessments, simulations. There's been a lot of things out there, and even outside-in type of tools. The unique thing here is we're able to crack this in a really simple approach based on read-only APIs. So very easy for any customer to try it out. Just tapping into their existing security tools, understanding how well are they operationalized in their environment, and making sure that it's very actionable. So every gap, every exposure that is found, we can help them find that way to fix it in the most effective fashion that would actually increase their resilience against those adversaries they care about. So it's very easy to deploy, very easy to use, and it's just extending the team's capabilities across so many avenues. So and the second thing is that it really helps organizations to help them consolidate and platformize. We've all been talking about this. This is kind of, when people talk about it, this doesn't consolidate and doesn't mean let's just buy everything from one vendor. We're supporting them also across best of breed strategies, which is something that, you go through the shop, through the floors, you see how many vendors we have.
Sure. And you've been building for a year and a half. So what's been the biggest challenge for you guys and how have you kind of overcome that as a business?
So I think that we have problems that are, people problems. We want to make sure we're hiring the best teams. We want to make sure that everyone is actually working and they're having everything they have in order to be successful. So it's not about us. It's not about me. It's about the team that is actually doing the work. The second part is really about the customers. We have a lot of customers. Everyone has their own demands, and they basically want us to already have that solution we'll have in a year's time. So we're being stretched to develop everything that they need. So that's like a product challenge. And we also have the brand challenge, which is we just came out of stealth. We really want to run fast, but it takes time and it takes effort to build that brand, that identity. So those are three main challenges that we've faced really in the last 3-6 months. Yeah,
and this is interesting, right? So coming out of stealth, talk to us more around that dynamic, right? Because maybe you said could have been too long and it could have been earlier. So talk us through what happens next after stealth. What are your objectives? Talk us around that whole process. How does it operate as well? I think that'd be good to understand.
So I think that our challenge for the first part, or challenge and objective for the first part of the year was getting out of stealth and getting ourselves out there, being very vocal, being very much signaling to everyone, in terms of our leading market position, making sure we have a right category in place, the positioning. We've been working a lot, very hard with industry analysts and industry analysts like Gartner. The part we're really focused right now is building a go-to-market machine that is not related and not based on what the founders are doing, and that transition from founder-led sales to GTM-led sales. And my personal objective is to make sure that I'm enabling and empowering marketing and sales and channels to make sure that we're able to create the opportunities, qualify them, run, show the value of the product, and create those partnerships with the customers. And that's the challenge we're kind of focusing on. This is where I'm seeing most of our effort going for the next 6-9 months.
Yeah, this could be very interesting and exciting to see how the rest of the year plans out.
Definitely.
You mentioned you had the first 10 customers, right, in stealth.
Right.
How did that happen? How did they come about? Maybe the first customer story. Is it a typical friend that was utilizing it, or was it a large enterprise customer and that's like, wow?
Yes. So I have to say that we always focused ourselves on mid-sized enterprises north, even to large enterprises. And as part of the due diligence process, Teammate let us meet a lot of CISOs of companies before they made investment for their sake, not for us.
Sure.
As we were pitching, they were just saying, wait a second, you're going to build this? I want in. And the first, one of the first customers that's we're really proud. It's IFF, a Fortune 500 company out of the East Coast. And we were talking with the CISO. She was telling us, listen, I've been trying to build this for years now. If you're building this, I want it. We've engaged with her as a design partner. And we were able to kind of get us towards the product. And the first installation was with them really 7 months after we just started the company.
Wow.
And that's a Fortune 500 company with all the complexities. So because we were talking to a problem that is really out there and everyone is really out there, there's a lot of people that are really excited about it because they want to solve it. It wasn't that hard to convince people. It was more of making sure we're building the product in the right pace to the right requirements really quickly. And that's kind of the first story. We were showing just the mock-ups. We're saying, listen, if we build this, will you want to deploy it? And then the answer was yes. So, we built it.
Great. And where's the product up to today? Is it fully operational, built, and it's just, I guess, improvements, upgrades to what you're building?
Yes. I mean, we reached that V1 product market fit version roughly in the first quarter of the year, January timeframe. Cool. That's where we kind of had a big inflection point from a customer and kind of demand in the market.
Yeah.
And we're now iterating really fast. I have to say that I'm really proud by the engineering and research team we have, both in Tel Aviv and London.
Right.
They're really fast in developing. So we're now releasing a lot of new features and functionalities. We're also going to extend into additional modules in the product because each module can help different personas, different maturity levels. But the V1, that sellable product that the customers already see value is ready roughly 6 months ago.
Great, that's cool. And so it sounds like a focus is the founder-led to sales side. That's going to be a focus for the next 6 months and beyond. Right. Is there anything else into H2 and into next year, objectives for you guys of what you're looking to
Yes,
achieve?
I think that we are seeing the category being built. We see Gartner talking about it. We see large vendors. We see competitors coming in, which is, by the way, really good. I'm really happy to see more vendors coming in and realizing the opportunity that we have. And from our perspective, we want to be one of the clear market, dominant players, top players in this category that is being built. I want customers to know this, partner to know this, our own kind of team to know this. And it takes a lot of work making sure that it's also in the numbers, not only about the number, the dollar value that we raise, but actually by the traction that we're getting in the market. So getting to that top market position is going to be another big milestone that we're going to go for.
Yeah, exciting. And how do you categorize yourself? What is the category defined as?
So there's a bit of areas. I'll give you a couple of areas that are currently, Gartner names this automated security controls assessment, which basically talks about how can I automatically assess the effectiveness of the existing controls given the tools that I have. There is another subcategory within where Gartner is talking about it, which is continuous threat exposure management, which is how can I best protect myself from threats and reduce the exposure given the tools that I have. And there is another category by Forrester called proactive security, which means how can I make myself more resilient in a proactive approach given the tools that I have, the threats that I care about, and given the assets that I have. Ultimately, they will all converge, just using all those three acronyms because I think that we still don't know which one will be the winner.
Sure. Yeah, very interesting. And future looking then, first question here is, with you guys, it's a new space, so things are evolving. How do you see the next 1 to 2 years potentially playing out? Do you have any predictions of what that could look like?
Yeah, I mean, I think that what we're seeing right now is because we're seeing consolidation, I think that there's a lot of talk about, best of breed versus best of suite. I think that what companies will realize is that they're not going to drop their best of breed approach for consolidation. And ultimately, the question will be, how can they effectively consolidate? How can they effectively make sure that they're actually utilizing the tools they have and they're actually protected? And ultimately, exactly like we saw it in the reactive side of the house, we all know about XDR and CM solutions that consolidated everything around the threat management. we're going to see this as a huge category on the threat protection side.
Yeah.
So the trend that I'm seeing is proactive security being much bigger and much more influential. And we're going to see a lot of companies that are going to just talk about it to be part of it. So I think that's going to be a big thing. Like, think about 5 years ago, everyone were talking about zero trust.
Yeah.
They're going to talk about this, and we're also already hearing about it.
Yeah.
Especially because it drives effectiveness, it drives efficiency, it drives doing more with what we already have.
Yeah.
And those are all signals that we're getting from all the marketplace.
Yeah, very cool. And I guess to wrap this up then, final question. So as a CEO yourself, someone that's built a business that's still growing, but if you had to give a piece of advice to someone that wants to maybe build their own product or service in the security ecosystem, maybe a couple of points of advice or one thing, what would you say to those guys?
Yeah, I think that the best advice that I got, which really I resonate with, is, so first of all, make sure that you're working with the right team. So it's not, no one can do this alone. So partnering with the right people across the entire stages, from investors, co-founders, team members, executive, that's really key.
Yeah.
But to the point of entrepreneurship, I think we really need to fall in love with the problem, not about the solution. Let's make sure that you're finding a real problem that is a real pain for a lot of customers, really understand it really well, and you create some competitive advantage about the way you're going to solve it.
Yeah.
If you have a really solid problem and you have like a great ability to solve it, I think that there's great opportunities to build new companies and solve, because we're not lacking problems to solve all the time.
Yeah, for sure. And folks that want to get in contact with Nagomi, what's the best way that they can?
So we have social media on LinkedIn. We have a website. We have multiple ways, multiple avenues. We have shirts with the barcode. You can come and see us at the booth. There's just Google Nagomi Security and you'll find us. It's all over the place.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on, Emanuel. I look forward to enjoying the cigar later on. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
And see you soon.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you for listening to this very special BlackHat 2024 edition of CyberBytes, the podcast. If you did enjoy the episode, please like, subscribe, and share with your colleagues and friends. If you're a candidate looking for a new role, or a hiring manager looking for their next technical or GTM hire, then please reach out directly or via our company email, info@aspironsearch.com.